All right, Razorback fans, a little bit of breaking news, a little surprising news happening today. I'm having to put this together in a makeshift type of studio and a type of setup, so bear with me, but you kind of get the idea. Either way, Arkansas gets a very surprising and very big commitment from Kevin Oatis, the defensive lineman out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. He's 6'2", 285 pounds, and as you can see right there, he is a bona fide four-star player. He's four-star on On3, 24/7 Sports, ESPN, Rivals. And, the reason I always want to bring that up is because any time that you're dealing with a player like this or anything, there's always some possibilities where it's like, oh, well, he's a four-star on this side, but he's a three-star on the others. No, if he's a four-star across the board, he's a four-star, which I guess On3 has him as a three-star. But with 24/7 Sports, ESPN, Rivals, the industry puts him at an overall four-star player, and I think that's what's most important. But either way, big get as he decides to commit to Arkansas over Mississippi State, LSU, Ole Miss, and USC. So has a lot of great offers. Also had technically a scholarship offer to Alabama, but decided the Razorbacks was where he wanted to go and where he wanted to call home, and he simply just said, woo pig suey. Now, here's what's crazy about him is obviously, again, he's a great player who had a lot of different offers, and anytime you get a big-time player out of a different state, especially the state of Mississippi, they usually have some pretty good talent coming out of there. It's always a big get. But here's what's wild. So as you see right there, On3, the website that you're looking at, they had him at 88%. 88% in their crystal ball rankings or in their predictions, whatever, that he was going to be going to Mississippi State. He was at 3.6% that he was going to LSU. He was at 3.1% that he was going to Ole Miss. But the place he committed in Arkansas, 1.9%. So you're talking about experts in the field, people who are in the know, people who are doing this for a living. There was a less than 2% chance that they felt like he was going to go to Arkansas. That means it was over a 98% confidence level that they felt like he was going somewhere other than Arkansas. But he decided to call the Hogs. And if you go over to 24/7 Sports and look at what they had for their crystal ball rankings, folks, they had 100%. 100% crystal ball predictions that he was going to go to Mississippi State. Both David Johnson and Steve Robertson, people I respect, so it's not like I'm hating on them at all. But they were high, an 8-level high for choosing Mississippi State or having Otis choose Mississippi State, but he decided to choose the Razorbacks. So Hayes Fawcett is the one that also tweeted it out for On3. And he, again, just goes on about how solid of a player he is and how big of a get he is for Arkansas. This is a little bit of a scouting report on him. He does track and field throwing events and powerlifting, which I don't know if you guys knew this, but defensive linemen usually like to throw things, and powerlifting is never a bad thing when you need to be a big, strong dude. So pretty nice there. He's a state of Mississippi 6A champion in the shot put as a junior with a 49.9 effort. He also threw a personal best 110.3 in the discus that season. He placed second as an 11th grader at Mississippi 6A powerlifting meet in the 275-pound division, posted a 1,410-pound total, which includes 575 pounds deadlift, 550 pounds squat, and 285 pounds worth of bench. So to say that he is a bona fide athlete would be an understatement. He's not only a phenomenal football player, but he's just a phenomenal athlete. He's got strength, and he can throw things. I'm pretty sure that's good for a defensive lineman. In 2023, as a junior in high school, he earned all-state recognition, and he also played in the 6A playoffs for Hattiesburg. And then in 2022, when he was a sophomore, he played multiple defensive lineman roles and helped Hattiesburg to a Mississippi 5A first-round playoff appearance there, too. So, class of 2025, probably should have made that known. He's the number 9 player coming out of the state of Mississippi. And Deke Adams, man. Deke Adams being on the grind and getting after it. He was one of the key. Him and Marcus Woodson both, which is something I love to see because we know that Marcus Woodson and how big of a fan I am of his. Such a big-time player and everything in a lot of these recruits and has been responsible for not only the development of the defensive line in a more consistent way, but also really good for Arkansas in recruiting defensive players in general. But another great tweet, and I wanted to bring this up because this kind of puts it into a little bit more perspective on how big of a get this was for the Razorbacks. This one comes from Paul Jones, who Paul Jones writes for On3 covering Mississippi State. And his quote to this was, "Big miss for Mississippi State." Big miss for Mississippi State, plain and simple. Like, that's a pretty wild thing. When you see people, because here's the thing, it was like, if you look at the articles, if you look at 24/7 Sports, you look at On3, when you have the experts having their predictions, they're almost always dead on, or at least they're not putting themselves out there to where they're really confident in him going to a school or any player going to a school. And even if it does change, because kids change their mind all the time, it happens, it's usually a little bit of a process where it starts to build and be like, hey, this is, it's kind of wavering a little bit, we'll see. It seemed like this was a surprise for everybody, and a great surprise for Deke Adams and Arkansas, where he's feeling good. So, again, kudos to Arkansas getting it done. He's a number 243rd player in the country, 27th defensive lineman of the class, and again, the 9th best player out of the state of Mississippi. So, great job, and a great get for Sam Pittman and Deke Adams and the Arkansas Razorback football team. But either way, appreciate everybody checking this out here on a recruiting update with Inside Arkansas. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out all of our great stuff going on at InsideArkansas.com. And we'll keep you up to date on any changes and any big other commitments happening here in the recruiting cycle for the Razorbacks. So appreciate you. We'll see you next time. And hopefully here very soon, where Arkansas can get another big recruit. Football, basketball, baseball, doesn't matter. We're going to have it here right at Inside Arkansas.